ESPN and all the race hustlers are already planting the seeds. When Shedeur Sanders gets cut by the Cleveland Browns, it was because of racism. They're planting these seeds, and the new lie, the new narrative is Shedeur Sanders is just head and shoulders better than Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur should have been drafted before Dillon Gabriel. Do you watch the games? Do you do any type of research whatsoever? Do you know the last game that Colorado played against BYU, that BYU didn't have one player drafted to the NFL? Not one. On defense or offense. In Colorado, they had a total of 4 draft picks. And guess what? Every one of those draft picks was on offense. 3 receivers, including Travis Hunter, who I consider a receiver, not a defensive back in the NFL, and Shedeur. And they played a BYU defense that didn't have one NFL player on it, and they got blown out of the building 36-14. So they're already planting this narrative. When Shedeur gets cut, oh, it's racism, the Browns, and Shedeur should have been picked over Dillon Gabriel, and because he got picked in the 5th round, he didn't get as many chances as Dillon Gabriel, and Dillon Gabriel sucks. What are you talking about? In 2023, when Shedeur Sanders had a tough schedule in college football, they went on a 6-game losing streak to end the season. They lost 6 games in a row to end the season in 2023. They played TCU, Nebraska, Colorado State. Oregon blew them out of the building when Dillon Gabriel was the quarterback for that team. Southern California, Arizona State, Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, and Utah. And they were absolutely atrocious. Shedeur Sanders was 4-8. Horrible. When he played decent teams, and only 2 of those teams were ranked. Oregon was ranked 6th in the country, and Arizona was ranked number 11 in the country at the time of those games. That was in 2023, when Shedeur had a much tougher schedule. Then in 2024, he gets an easier schedule. Nebraska, Colorado State, Baylor, UCF, Kansas State, Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and BYU. Shedeur does not play one ranked team the entire season and still loses 4 games. He didn't beat a ranked team at all. They had 3 teams in this conference. Baylor, BYU, and Houston didn't have a single player drafted to the NFL. In the Big 12 Conference, in the draft that just passed, they only had 31 total players taken. And they didn't have one defensive player taken in the first 2 rounds of that draft. So what does that tell you? Shedeur Sanders played against weak competition. And everything I just said, you could put that off to the side. When they played BYU, Shedeur Sanders shows up after 2 days in the strip club, plays a BYU defense that doesn't have one player drafted to the NFL, and he gets absolutely dominated by the BYU defense. Now let's look at Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel played in the Big Ten. They had 71 total players drafted to the NFL. They had 11 defensive players drafted in the first round alone. 11 players were drafted in the first round alone in the Big Ten. And that's where Dillon Gabriel played his football. So let's look at Dillon Gabriel's stats from 2024. He plays number 8, Boise State. I'm just going to go over the ranked teams. Boise State is ranked number 8. Ohio State is ranked number 1. Illinois is ranked number 16. He plays Penn State. They're ranked number 5. He plays Ohio State again in the championship, and they're ranked number 1, obviously. Dillon Gabriel goes 5-1 against ranked teams. He beats Ohio State the first time around, and the second time around, Ohio State beats them. If Shedeur Sanders plays the schedule, even on another team, a better team, he probably wins 3 games the whole year. There is no doubt in my mind that Dillon Gabriel is the better quarterback. And the stats and the teams that they played and the number of NFL players that Dillon Gabriel played against prove it. I mean, just the fact that Dillon Gabriel played Ohio State twice, won one time and lost the other time, he's played against more NFL competition in 2 games than Shedeur Sanders has his whole career at Colorado. So the media is already spinning this narrative that, oh, Shedeur's better than Dillon Gabriel. He should make the roster. Easy. He's head and shoulders above Dillon Gabriel. He should have been picked before him. No, he shouldn't. Do you watch the games? Do you look at the stats? Do you do any research? I don't want to hear it's the system, because I'm going to tell you something. If Shedeur Sanders was that great and he was that good as everybody wants you to believe, he played against pretty much 0 NFL competition at Colorado. And we're always going to hear about the line, that the line sucked. You couldn't put Shedeur in the shotgun. He couldn't have made plays. Against BYU, the final game of the year to show his whole 4 years of college, his final piece of work. They get blown out of the building against BYU. BYU doesn't have a single NFL player on their roster. Not one player from BYU got drafted. And Shedeur Sanders gets blown out of the building. So are you going to tell me it doesn't matter? Are you going to tell me that, oh, no matter what, Shedeur's better than him just because I say so, and that's what I heard on ESPN? So ESPN and all the race hustlers, Stephen A. Smith, Chris Canty, Louis Riddick, Mel Kiper, they're already planting the seeds for the next race hoax involving Shedeur Sanders. Oh, he was robbed, and Dillon Gabriel's not better than Shedeur. Why is Dillon Gabriel on the roster? You know, they don't like Shedeur because he's confident and he flashes a smile and he has a gold chain. No, he's just not that good. He's not. The teams that they play show it. Dillon Gabriel played much better competition than Shedeur Sanders. He played teams that are loaded with NFL talent. Shedeur. They had the conference that Shedeur played in. They had 6 total players drafted on defense, the entire conference. And none of them, other than Travis Hunter, who to me is an offensive player. He got drafted to play receiver, and he's on Shedeur's team. So, Shedeur Sanders didn't play one team in college that had a first-round draft pick on defense. He's not used to seeing NFL defenders. What do you think's going to happen when he gets in the camp with the Cleveland Browns? Denzel Ward, tweeting out, time for greatness. You know what, Denzel? I can't wait to the first live scrimmage and you pick Shedeur off 3 times and, 10 plays. And you're like, yeah, you got to get this bum out of here. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. But it's already building. It's already building for training camp that everybody in the NFL is just against Shedeur. I'm sorry I have to go over all these facts and stats. I'm trying to talk politics, but if I don't show you the facts and stats and the boring football statistics, you're just going to be brainwashed by ESPN. That all the old racists that run the NFL don't like a confident black man. They don't like a black man with gold chains on and can think for himself and ask questions. That's the narrative you're being fed. And nothing could be further from the truth. The same NFL that has made more black men millionaires than any industry in America. The same NFL that loves confident black men who can lead their teams, who want those young black men to be confident and instill discipline in their teammates. But that's not who or what Shedeur Sanders is. But all the race baiters, Stephen A. Smith, they're already planting the seeds for when Shedeur Sanders gets cut by the Cleveland Browns, that it's something else other than football. That there's some collusion going on here. That there's a smokescreen against the young black man with a gold chain. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. And let me make this clear, because you're going to think you're just a Shedeur hater. No, not at all. I would love for Shedeur Sanders to be the next Tom Brady. And I mean that. You know why? Because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I love the divisional matchups. Steelers versus the Browns, Steelers versus the Bengals, Steelers versus the Ravens. I love all the division matchups. I want to go to a game where the hot ticket is, oh, the Steelers are playing the Browns this week, and they're led by Shedeur Sanders, and TJ Watt is leading the Steelers' way, trying to bring down Shedeur Sanders a couple notches. Nothing would make me happier if Shedeur is that guy. I would love for Shedeur to make the Cleveland Browns playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders year in and year out in our division. With the Steelers, the Bengals, the Ravens, I want him to be that guy. I want to tune into a game where it was like the old Ravens games when you watch the Steelers with Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. I want Shedeur to be that guy. And I want to see battles. But I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he's ever going to be that guy. I don't think he was ever that guy. And you saw what happened in 2023 when Shedeur played a harder schedule. They went on a 6-game losing streak. In 2024, he played an easier schedule. He went 8-4. He still played a few teams that didn't have one NFL defender. Nobody got drafted from their team, and Shedeur Sanders still lost 4 games and didn't go to a major college bowl game. So I got to call this out because ESPN, racist Ryan Clark, Chris Canty, Stephen A. Smith, Mel Kiper, all the race hustlers, they love to divide and conquer people by lying to them. They're lying to you. They're trying to make you believe that Shedeur is something that he's never been. ESPN and all the race hustlers were the ones that created this narrative that Shedeur Sanders was a first-round pick. And then when you didn't believe that narrative, you were a racist. See, if they just told the truth from the beginning, racist Ryan Clark, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, Chris Canty, if they watched the film, all 22 film, which none of them have ever watched, if they told the truth, nobody would be even surprised this much where Shedeur Sanders got drafted. I had Shedeur Sanders as a 4th-round pick. I had his brother as a free agent. Now, I think that Shedeur fell a little bit more after the interviews he had with teams. But I had it spot on. And I was saying it during the college football season that he's not that guy. And I've watched multiple games in all 22 film. Oregon, USC, BYU, you name it, TCU. I've watched him in all 22 film. He holds onto the ball too long. He sways in and out of the pocket. He took his team to a strip club for 2 days before the BYU bowl game. He doesn't have the greatest work ethic. Do I think he wants to improve? I don't know. We never see Shedeur make it. He makes videos all the time. Rapping, singing, showing money, chains, the jewelry, the girls, the cars. But do we ever see workout videos? 3-step drops? Yeah, we see a 5-minute video. I don't see too many workout videos. I saw videos leading up to the draft, of course. Do I think he spends 8 hours a day working on his craft, putting a full hard day of hard work in, working on his craft, throwing for a couple hours, watching film for a couple hours, lifting weights, doing everything that he needs to do to get better. I don't believe that for a second. Whether it's his build, what his arm, his knowledge of the game, it's my opinion and my belief that he does not work hard behind the scenes. I don't believe it at all. And the biggest thing going into Browns camp is this. He's been handed the job since the time he's in Pop Warner, Little League, whatever you want to call it, by his dad. This is the first time in his life where he will have to fight and compete for his job. Shedeur, I want you to be that guy. I want you to be the next Lamar Jackson in the division. It makes better football. I want to see a playoff game where the Steelers Stadium is packed with people because Shedeur Sanders, the next Tom Brady story, is coming there to beat the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl. That's what I want. I want you to be that guy. But I can't lie like everybody else. I have a job to do. I'm a reporter. I analyze the film. I'm a podcaster. I'm not going to lie. I have things to talk about, politics and sports. And I'm not going to lie to make the Sanders regime happy. So now we have sports and politics mixing together. And just like Democrats and liberals do in politics, where they lie and lie and lie, and then they get mad when people don't believe their lies and point the finger and call people racist and call them all types of names. Now we have that going into sports because ESPN refuses to do their job in an honest way, and all the race baiters that work for them. See, because if they did their job in an honest way, nobody would even be shocked at all where Shedeur Sanders or why he was drafted in the 5th round. Again, I'm going to end it with this. Racist Ryan Clark, Stephen A. Smith, Chris Canty, Mel Kiper, they're all planting the seeds in advance. If Shedeur fails and when he's cut, and I believe he will be cut in Cleveland, they're already planting the seeds of excuses. He's better than Dillon Gabriel. It's racism. It's these old white owners. They don't like a confident black man. All the seeds are being planted because they just can't admit that they lied and they were wrong.